asset? Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto. Every day on the channel, we teach you how to make money with digital assets, folks. Smash that like button because we got a major show today. We got to talk about XRP. Where is this breakout going to lead? Where is this triangle going to choose? Is it going to choose up? Is it going to choose down? And what do these levels look like? Also got to talk about Bitcoin, some major developments there. Trump's company launched on the stock exchange yesterday, halted 5 times. Also, we got to talk about some $1,000 Solana predictions. And we're going to mention Cardano, of course. And I'm here with TJ. TJ, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Happy to be in crypto, watching our bags go up and down, but also leading the charge into the future of finance. Feels good.
Love to see it. And what's always leading the crypto charges? Bitcoin. So let's look at Bitcoin here.
Let's get your screen.
Oh, yeah. I got to do that, man. Hey, look. I was looking at so many charts, doing so much research. I forgot to hit one little button, but here we go. You can see this is yesterday's pump. This is that 9 a.m. pump. And remember, TJ, we talked about knocking on the door?
Yes.
Remember we knocked on the door, like we kept knocking on it, on the 1 minute, it was just like over and over again. So we knocked on the door a bunch of times and we broke up above the parallel channel that we identified yesterday. And we bounced off the parallel. I mean, look at this. It is really respecting the lines that we drew out. Then you can see it lost support. And you fast forward to where we're at today. Right now, Bitcoin is fallen out of the channel. As I'm doing the research, as I'm preparing the show here, this morning, we were still in it, but we have now since broken down, TJ. So what are you thinking here? It's not looking super bullish. But wait a minute, not to cut you off. Is that a head and shoulders forming? Did I just see that?
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm not too, again, 108 has been decent level, and there was even lower levels beyond that people were calling for. But 108 seems fine to me. I would be loading up and taking longs at those levels, taking buys at those levels. I'm not concerned that we're in this 110 range. I think it's pretty standard for the week. The fact that 108 level held is good enough for me. Maybe we range in here until we get rate cuts. Maybe we get some bullishness next week. But yeah, where does that bring us?
That brings us to basically the blast off zone from yesterday morning. This is going to be right around 109.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yeah. 108, 500 or so.
Yeah. That doesn't scare me a bit.
And this is a long-term trend line down here on the bottom. You can see this is going back pretty significantly. This is going all the way back to May 2025. Hit against it in July, blasted through later in July, and then we knocked against it in late August there. Yeah. So still have a pretty long, strong level of support below us.
Crypto Crank here, trader in our community, golden pocket at 108.2 to 107.2. That's perfectly in range with what I would expect as well. So,
all right, well, there we go. Now, I want to point out this parallel range because we're seeing something similar with Ethereum and we're seeing it with XRP. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin and then we're going to roll into the XRP news. We're going to talk about this XRP breakout. So you can see Bitcoin traded along in this parallel range, bounced, just lost support here. But if you look at ETH, this is the same 9 a.m. bounce. It's that 8:45, 9 a.m. bounce that you see right here. So this is what we're looking at on ETH. We're looking at it right here. Did the same thing, TJ, just kind of traded along in a parallel range. But what do you think the next move was? Because remember, Bitcoin went above and then is now below. ETH looking a lot worse, almost. I would say significantly worse. So if the altcoins are feeling a little bit of pain, you could just blame Ethereum. And if you look at XRP, this is XRP's, the same little, wait a minute, let's go back. Oh, I was looking at a different area there. Let's go to the 5 minute. You can see the same thing for XRP. This is going to be the 9 a.m. blast off zone right there. Right here, took off, but then no parallel channel and it's just been going lower and lower. But right now, it looks like the bulls are trying to get in control. We're going to look at some larger time frames on XRP in a little bit, and we'll look at this red line and kind of see the significance of that. Let's look at the rest of the market. Bitcoin is down. Everything is down at the moment, it seems like. Bitcoin's down 1.6. ETH is down 2.2. We see that Tron is holding better than most of the other coins in the top 10, only declined 0.9%. Cardano's down significantly, but nothing is down more than World Liberty Fi. World Liberty Fi with a 23% dump. And Ondo with some profit taken being held as well. I think a lot of people are looking at their finality times. a little bit slower than some of these other tokenized exchanges. And Athena is also down. Seeing some strong projects up here, TJ. And Ondo, Athena, and I would even say Pengu for the meme space. All three of these are strong projects.
Yeah, strong projects, but and strong ones that have been in the meta recently. I'm not too shocked on the Ondo sell-off. You know, it's typical buy the rumor, sell the news. They had their big announcement yesterday. You know, now I think people are waiting for another catalyst to pump things up. So kind of par for the course. And again, if you consider what we've been talking about, even covering Benjamin Cowan's take on the Bitcoin dominance and what we're going to expect in September, I still expect Bitcoin to move up. And then what we're seeing right now is when Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins are pulling back harder, and Bitcoin dominance will, I think, grow into the Fed rate cut meeting. And then when we get cuts in September, I think Bitcoin is the major winner of that. And then after that, late September going into October is when I think we see altcoins rally again. So Morpho actually had a pretty good move. And I think foreshadowing, on that big pump whenever it did happen, you kind of watch which altcoins move quickly. Morpho was one of those big winners. It's something I have a small position in right now. It fits in with my thesis of, the base ecosystem and getting into base ecosystem projects like Arrow, Morpho. What's the other one on there that we do all the time that's similar to Morpho? Velo.
Yeah, Velodrome.
So I think I was thinking about this yesterday. Whenever in the next couple weeks, probably as we get closer to rate cuts, I'm going to kind of wait and see what the market does. Oh, Moonwell, that was the other one. That's a good one. Both I might move. I'm considering moving another Bitcoin into some like Moonwell and Morpho, which is much higher risk than the stuff I've been doing recently. But I believe in both of those. So.
All right, now let's actually look at the Fed rates. You brought that up because we've seen for a 24-hour period, pretty significant change on Poly Market. You can see the percentage changes here. No change was above 10%. It was about 13% yesterday. In the last 24 hours, it is now down 6%, now down to 7%, almost cutting in half the odds that we weren't going to get a rate change here. And now the odds of a rate change up in the mid-90s.
Yeah, that's because unemployment numbers came in today, and unemployment's up. So
yeah, we're gonna be
down, unemployment up.
Yeah, I have it right here. Ben Cowan, initial claims actual 237, estimated 230 prior to 29. So we're seeing some claims heading up. So people are expecting higher likelihood that we are going to see a rate cut, and I think most people would agree with that assessment there. Well, let's talk about Bitcoin. Then we're going to talk about XRP. We're going to talk about this triangle that everybody needs to be paying attention to because it's telling us XRP's next point, next level. Now, Bitcoin though is always leading the way. And we have some pretty scary bear market predictions. What do you think of this? Bear market, 50K in October, TJ.
No.
But what if I told you 2026? I got by got him.
You got me.
Yeah, I got.
Plausible, still unlikely. I don't see us going much below. Even in the most bearish scenario, I say 70K, holds pretty well.
Right. Well, we're seeing some calls for once the bear market hits, we might see 50K has a new reckoning as the bull market endures its latest 15% correction from the all-time highs. And people are just talking about how we're running out of time on the traditional 4-year cycle schedule. We're getting close to that final zone, that last month or 3 months for Bitcoin's price appreciation, for that parabolic rally, for that final part of the 4-year cycle. But they're saying that this cycle, markedly unlike others before it, thanks to major institutional investors and Bitcoin's ascent to the major asset status. I would say because of that, 50K is going to be a little bit tougher. I could see a bottom at 60, 80K. But really, the real question is whether this fractal will remain reliable in the face of heavy speculation around ETFs and growing institutional demand. So I just want to ask you, TJ, with the growing institutional demand, with this cycle being unlike any that we've seen before it, with Wall Street participating, where do you see a bottom if you don't see 50K?
I think it's around 70. Like traditionally, if you follow previous cycle all-time high, or you follow traditional cycle theory, it's around previous cycle all-time high. Now it might go a little bit, so traditionally, it topped out at 20. This time we went to 16-ish, wick down like for a day or for a little while, that type of stuff. I think we could. It kind of depends on how high we go. That's my big thing. If we only make it to 150, 70K, I think is most likely. If we go to 200, 220, maybe we hold above 100K. But I do think we will see a significant pullback in 2026. It's just a matter of when. And part of what I said, I think it was yesterday, my plan is to move most altcoins back into Bitcoin around November, which is when I think, let us get through the next couple of rate cuts. Let us get some of this, price action going, the money printing going. I shared a post from Mark Moss today that was showing the balance sheet of the central bank in Turkey just going absolutely vertical. And I think that's some foreshadowing of what we're going to see other central banks doing. So when they go into adding stuff to their balance sheet again into that full easing environment, if that happens in 2026, I think we do see some bull action. Yeah, there it is. That's the Turkish balance sheet right there, their central bank. I mean, and it's basically, you can look at how flat it was for a really, really, really long time. And then they just had to load up in order for them to get the economy that they have right now. So I think we're going to see the same thing for us. It's just a matter of when. I'm going to be moving back into Bitcoin towards the end of this year to kind of position in a wait and see. I may have some in Tether, but I generally don't like to move out of Bitcoin into Tether. I'd rather just ride it out in Bitcoin. I've got other sidelined positions that I can move money in.
You don't have any big purchase, say 12, 24 months from now planned?
No, I do, but I could always just, I'm a big believer in Aave, and if you have good assets that you don't have any debt against, you can always take a loan against it to repurchase at the bottom. And I think that's probably a more,
okay. So as Bitcoin matures, start taking loans against your Bitcoin.
Yeah. So say the Bitcoin drops back to 100K and I think that's the bottom and I want to go all in. I'll just take a large cash loan against it, buy a bunch more Bitcoin and not sell any Bitcoin to do it, and then pay it off when
all right, we have some erroneous information here. They said you sold your car at the Bitcoin top. Do you remember what price it was when you sold your car to buy more? You didn't just buy Bitcoin.
No, it wasn't around. It was around 100K. I mean, it wasn't 120, that's for sure, but it was, I think it might have been in the 90s, but it was close to 100. Might have been a little over.
Okay, so you didn't top blast.
Which I don't mind. I'm probably going to buy a bunch more in the end of October of Bitcoin. So
all right. Well, we have a famous bear in the chat, Steadybug, and it said they came out of the covers during the recent price drop. Is that like a bed bug simile or something? Or
I miss Steadybug. He was cool. Like he had his opinions.
I like differing opinions.
Yeah, he wasn't right, but he was cool. He was nice.
All right, well, let's talk about Bitcoin's price action here. That we're kind of talking about long term. Let's talk about short term here. So trouble is brewing as this pattern hits at a huge Bitcoin correction around the corner here. They're looking, so Bitcoin's currently trading around 110. Bitcoin remains below the resistance. Therefore, BitBull at least warns that Bitcoin, unless it can reclaim and hold above 114, any short term bounce likely to be a bull trap. This is just going to lure traders in before the market reverses downward. And he further noted that the longer it stays below 114, the higher the probability of a major correction before any sustainable reversal. And he's looking at immediate support at 109, and then a breakdown could open to the doors for even sharper declines towards lower levels. So let's look at some of these levels. I got the chart right here. I would say the most important thing people are paying attention to are some of these large moving averages. Let me get rid of this head and shoulders there. You can see this is the parallel range that we were talking about. We're also going to get rid of that. Bitcoin got rejected. I want to say this is going to be, is this the 20, the red? Yeah, the 20, 50 is orange. Teal is going to be the 100, 200 is going to be dark blue. So we got rejected off of this time frame. But if you look at the weekly, also tells another story. You can see we're still holding on to the 20-week as support. We have fallen below the 20-week as support, but then we end up using the 50-week as that basically that bull market support. You see a lot of bull market support bands along this 50-week moving average and an exponential moving average with a simple moving average. But this is, I would say, the major zone to be paying attention to, and that is in the 90s. So we could go all the way below 100, still could be just normal for this bull market.
Yeah. I mean, that tracks perfectly. And I've got a super chat here from Niles. What will trigger alt season losing hope? My answer is rate cuts. When rate cuts come, markets go risk on.
That's a great answer. I just came up with this thought. ETH traditionally has gave us alt season. ETH might be so institutionalized at this point. Could be XRP or Solana that we need to pump before we see all the other mid caps and everything else start pumping. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I think that could be a signal, but to me, it generally is when new money's coming into the system. So you and I were talking.
Yeah, that's the real answer.
We were talking about reverse repo stuff the other day and how low those markets have been. There used to be trillions of dollars there parked overnight. Now there's it's like a 95% decrease, which means there's just not a lot of extra money floating around out there. When the Fed starts adding to their balance sheet again instead of shrinking it, so they went from something like, I want to say 10 trillion down to 6 trillion over these last few years of less on their balance sheet, which is the opposite of what we just showed with what Turkey was doing. Once that switches and they go back into easing, that's when I think we're going to see risk assets pump again. So that's usually what you're looking for, is that easing environment, and that's when new money's coming in, and they're usually going to wait right until the system breaks before they do it, which is what we're looking at now with the bond market and a lot of these other different things going on. We're right on the edge of like, hey, there's no money in the system to pay back these debts that everybody owes. They'll most likely, if you look at history, pump money back in, and they're eventually they'll stop and they'll let the system break. But it's hard to call when that's going to be.
Yeah, no, reverse repo is part of the Fed balance sheet. When you look at the Fed balance sheet right here on the week chart, we've been talking about, it does look like eventually strategic buying zone.
Hey, we're back. There we go.
There we go. Strategic buying zone could potentially be between 94 and 101. Just an area to pay attention to. Just want to throw some of these other identifying targets for you, because this came from research firm K33, and this is going to be what the professionals and the institutions are waiting for. So they might be waiting for one of these more textbook pullbacks that we've seen during this this cycle here. Let me go back to Bitcoin, look at the weekly. So I'm sure they're looking at all this and saying like, all right, well, Bitcoin had a huge correction. Maybe this is just the start. So I would expect a lot of institutions to also back that truck up once we start dipping around 100. That's when you're going to see a lot of whales coming in.
Yeah, amazing how the stream goes down for the like 2 minutes of the show that we talk about the Fed balance sheet and the Fed's actions, and then all of a sudden when we stop talking about that,
Gary Gensler in the chat,
it comes back. You know,
it's Gary Gensler. He's got a lot of time on his hands these days.
Jamie Dimon.
Jamie Dimon. Who is he a banker for again, TJ?
JP Morgan, CEO.
Yeah, no, but who did he bank?
Oh,
we're not gonna
all
say
the bad guys.
We're not gonna say. Smash that like button, everybody. What do you think about the whole Pokemon thing? I have no idea what the Pokemon thing is. Is that Kevin O'Leary bought a Pokemon card or something? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's talk about Bitcoin still. Then we're gonna talk about XRP. So, speaking of bull run, speaking of accumulation, at the end of the day, this story still remains the same. We got more and more Bitcoin being held by publicly traded companies. We just hit a huge milestone in the past 24 hours. We have now passed 1 million Bitcoin. Nearly 5% of all the Bitcoin that will ever be is now locked up in these publicly traded companies' balance sheets. Huge news. And there's 54,000 publicly traded companies worldwide. Only 167 have Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Still very, very early. I would say that's a very small percentage there, folks. Now, Bitcoin has no top. Why? Because fiat has no bottom. Now, if you're wondering why the euro looks a little bit better than the dollar, we're starting at 1999. But you can see the US dollar just losing more and more purchasing power as we move forward. Same thing with euro. You look at NASDAQ, it's more so a debasement of currency. If you look at gold and Bitcoin, also kind of the same story there. And back to the M2 and gold charts. Folks, if you didn't watch last night's video on gold, highly recommend you go watch that.
I'm bummed. So it bombed, guys. We need you guys to go watch it and hit the like button. It was a great video. And this is what's so frustrating about being a YouTuber. You find great videos with good insights. And because it's about gold, it's about commodities and precious metals. Nobody watched it because it didn't say,
Yeah, it didn't say XRP is going to $100.
Yeah,
I could
it was a great
title.
Video.
Yeah, slap a title, XRP to $100, and put some thumb on me like, duh. Guess what? It's going to crush. But that's not what we want to do. We want to provide you actual, real value. So smash that like button, share the stream if you can.
Yeah, show them which one it is so they can see the thumbnail.
Yeah, of course. Hold on, give me one. So yeah, right here, U.S. government. Oh wait, let me hit refresh. This is going to be yesterday. Bitcoin follows gold every time this happens next. And look how crazy I'm going with my hands.
Yeah.
You
Look at
know, I look like a flight traffic controlman.
Yeah, flight. You know, you're breaking it down right there.
I mean, I was giving you the business there, folks.
It's
All
a
right,
good video. Yeah.
go ahead. What are you gonna say?
No, I just said it's a good video.
Yeah, it is sad. I'm sad. Sag. All right, let's see. I wish everybody have a good day, folks. I keep trying to hit hide, and then more and more people will throw stuff in. So then I keep throwing it more. Thread Guy did an interview with the founder of the Pokemon project. Like,
Okay.
what did we talk about? Game Freak? We're talking about the
there's
the 90s.
There's new card game stuff out there where people buy and sell the stuff. That's all it is.
Easy showing the Italian side. Facts. All right. Now, one last thing before we go into XRP. Bitcoin lagged M2 and gold correlations. If these hold, the rest of the year still going to be very interesting. The charts are pointing to 167 to 185. So we still have companies adding it to their balance sheet. We still have institutions buying. We still got Michael Saylor buying for infinity. And we still have M2 pumping, and we still have the gold lag. If you don't understand this gold lag, go watch last night's video. And of course, we've talked about the M2 money supply as well. And we're still waiting for that M2 to hit a new all-time high. Most of the charts I see, we still haven't hit a new all-time high. But even if it starts declining, we should still get a few months of bull run for Bitcoin.
Yeah, and you're starting to see like China's going vertical again, and other economies M2 going up in isolation. And that should reflect in the global M2 as time goes on, especially once the US starts doing stuff.
Yeah, they're printing. They're breaking their arms. They're printing so fast. All right, now it is time to talk about XRP. Type in XRP if you're in the XRP army. We know there's a lot of people that hold it, but we also know there's a lot of people in the chat that FUD it. So I actually don't even know how many people. I think some of the people FUDing it, TJ, actually hold some.
Yeah, most people have at least a little bit, even because a lot of people, it was one of the first things they bought when they got into crypto, and they just held it. So.
All right. Yeah, the XRPs are rolling in here. Let's see. What did this say? There are approximately 358 million businesses worldwide. Yeah, it doesn't have to be on the stock exchange. Whoa, XRP army is coming through strong. There's a whole platoon coming. That's a battalion. What's after
Quadrant.
battalion? I don't know my armament group settings there. All right, let's talk about XRP. XRP symmetrical triangle now forming under $3, 330 breakout level in focus. I want to just point out some key details from this article. It's more of a TA article. So analysts are divided. This sounds about right. Some predicting a rise to $7, $13. Others warning of resistance below the key trend line. So some are saying pump into $10. Some are saying basically dump into 10 cents here. Now we scroll down. Now 282 zone is the key demand area. Below that, 270, 250 are next. 3, psychological hurdle, 330 as the breakout confirmation. RSI is neutral, slightly bullish lean here, folks. That's going to be the relative strength index. Now, what we see here. We have this symmetrical triangle. We still need this to, play out completely. This is a regular chart. So we still have a pretty good target of this 425, suspiciously close to 420. XRP might be blasting off to the way you just kind of see first time it touches the bottom and the top, that gives you a little potential breakout target. But this right here, TJ, this is not a bullish pattern. This is what they call a descending triangle. Let's break that down. Now, in the chart, you can see the price gradually makes lower highs, which tells sellers starting to gain some ground against the buyers. Now, most of the time, and I don't know why they go foghorn and leghorn, and now most of the time, and we do say most, the price will eventually break the support line and continue to fall. So most of the time, this is a bearish pattern. However, in some cases, the support line will be too strong, and the price will bounce off of it and make a strong move up. So is the army going to be strong? Is the people actually going to buy XRP, or are they just holding a bag from 2017? But it doesn't always have to go to the downside. You do have some targets for the upside. It kind of makes sense. You just, again, do the maximum length here, and then it would give you your potential target from the breakout. Now, they do it a little bit odd. You can see, they have a suspiciously weird horizontal line that then intersects with this descending triangle. So instead of just going to the breakout, I don't know what's going on there, but it could form to the upside. Let's go back to the chart. Let's kind of run these numbers here. So what we're looking at here is going to be this potential upside, basically just going to give us a slightly higher high. I would say this probably is going to, I haven't even checked this. I just had a guess. Yeah, it is. It is double confluence. I like that. I'm liking this. I'm like a wolf. I'm a lichen. It's 374 potential target. But let's do the bear side. Let's not just say it's all going to be, you know, roses and honey and land of milk and honey here. 189, 187. 187 would be a 187 on XRP this bull run. That's going to be, I would say, a little too low to have a strong recovery. Maybe there's some weird, you know, Brad Garlinghouse does something strange, but just some potential targets. Now, $1 million question, TJ. Are you thinking lower? You thinking higher? I'm thinking higher.
Yeah, I think higher. Again, I think this is the type of thing that it benefits from rate cuts and regulation changes. So the next big macro question mark I feel like that's out there on the market right now in Washington is the Clarity Act and some of the other bills that they're trying to get pushed through Congress. If those happen, we will see a massive just flood of money into crypto. And I think XRP will be one of the beneficiaries of that when it happens. My moon targets are still not $10. They're not what the XRP army wants to hear, but $5.89, $5-6 I think is achievable very reasonably. I'm very bullish on the majors right now. There's definitely opportunities in mid to low caps. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream, Morpho is one that I like. You guys know I love Aave. However, the top 20 projects, I think we're going to see a lot of index type products come out. I think we're going to see a lot of investing products for people to get crypto exposure that are managed by people that have an edge in this space that perform extremely well. And you don't have to get too crazy to do it. You could have a top 20 index crypto fund that performs extremely well. What do you got?
I had no idea who this guy is. Mike Shinoda.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. It's
close.
The one on the bottom right. Yeah, go to images. Yeah.
I didn't think that's the first time I've heard the Linkin Park guy ever.
Yeah.
I've made it 87 years before I've heard that before.
We gotta get you one of those hats.
Oh man, let's just move on before I get it myself canceled here. One more thing on XRP. So, I was asked, are we going higher? Are we going lower? If I had to guess, I'm saying we're going higher. This is a great pattern. Now, let me give a shout out to who this was. This was Crypto Wizard, 108,000 followers here. I'm going to say, you know what? You earned me a follow here. This is the only chart you need. XRP following 2017 bull run structure. After this consolidation phase, we'll see a rally to 450 and higher. Patience pays. Now, this is looking at the previous rally. So we have all-time high, pullback of all-time high, accumulation, consolidation. All-time high, pullback of all-time high, accumulation, consolidation. If you look at the next phase of the consolidation, went to a new all-time high. I mean, this is bearing, very, very similar vibes to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking this XRP chart here. So if it does follow this rally, and again, I'm just saying history might rhyme here. Obviously, the consolidation is much different than this consolidation. So you could say it's already a lot different, but we could see that big rally above. Now, he's using a log chart. We'll let it slide this time, though, because he still had a fairly neutral target, 450 and higher. I think 450, very, very, very doable for XRP.
Yeah, what do you think? This guy says sell your XRP between $4 and $6 and keep a small moon bag.
That fits right in there.
Yeah. I think that's very reasonable advice.
I would say very, very reasonable advice. I would not wait for $10,000. I would not wait for $589. I would not wait for $100 XRP. I wouldn't wait for a $10 XRP. Yep. But if you have your moon bag, hey, then you have some to cash out at a $10 XRP. Let's see. All right. So we get people talking about their age. Yeah. Tell us how old you are. I'm interested. I'm not 87 years old. I am. Why does your voice get lower when you're asking about good news about XRP? I guess I have a negative bias because I'm a Link Marine. I can only choose one. I can't have dual citizenship like I'm in the U.S. Congress. Okay. I got to choose one. Link Marine or XRP Army. What are you choosing, TJ? I know what you're choosing.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm a Link Marine for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you a Marine or are you in the Army? What are you, folks? I'm wondering here. All right, let's talk about altcoins for a second. There's other altcoins out there, folks. Wintermute urging the SEC to exclude network tokens.
I bet they are.
From securities rules. I bet they are as well. So I'm not going to get into the whole weeds here. I thought they were going to have like a whole list of like, this coin and that coin, they only did Bitcoin and ETH. The company mentioned Bitcoin and ETH as example of network token. So I don't think they want to go too far ahead of their skis. Throw out basically Solana is what there's anytime you hear about Wintermute, market makers, I feel 3 out of 5 times it's on Solana, or it's, actually is being sold Solana. Maybe it's BNB manipulation there, but Bitcoin, ETH, if you had to choose one more, are you choosing Solana?
As network token? Like what are they actually asking them to do? Not regulate them?
Yes. Network tokens are not securities. And so basically,
yeah, I mean, I guess they would argue, they would go down the list of layer ones. Yeah, they would ask for Solana, Tron, any platform token, I guess.
All right, that was clever. Link Park. All right. Yeah, we'll give it to you. I do park my 3.7 chain link. No, I have more than that. So yeah, you could read more about their post. I actually tried to do more deeper research. I always like to do the deep dives here. Maybe this works now. I've tried like 18 times. I just kept getting 5-0. Yeah. Thanks for the breakdown there, Wintermute. So I can't determine too much that myself. But they're saying they only did Bitcoin and ETH. Now let's do top 10 fastest growing blockchains ranked by active users. Guess number 1.
Active users.
Yeah, I hesitate.
Yeah, I mean, it's easily gamed, so it's like who's mostly incentivized to game it? Just
is real story.
Is it in 20? Is it in a year? Was that what it was?
Yeah, last 12 months.
Last 12 months, most active users.
Or maybe since year to date. So,
I mean, you would think potentially Solana with a lot of the meme coins.
That'd be my guess. Trump, launched
Tron
November.
Wouldn't surprise me. I don't know what do you got?
Go through the list here. Well, number 1. All right, so they do the criteria here. They break down L1, L2s. They're looking at foundational infrastructure. I mean, I would say they're probably massaging the data to come up with,
Solana. I was right.
Number 1 is Solana. Solana, 57 million monthly active users. Just want to roll through them real quick.
Near.
This was surprising. I've never met a Near user. I hold Near. I have a Near wallet. I'm not a Near user. Do you know, are the Near users in the room with us right now, TJ?
I get maybe it's
I think it's like AI agent.
Yeah, I was just say
bots.
computer, automated stuff, I guess. I don't know. That one surprises me.
Yeah,
I would
that's
not have
surprising
thought
to me. I would say, we're talking about, they potentially could be gamed.
Yeah.
I certainly don't know a Near user. We have BNB. I would say this one's a lot more accurate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Huge in Asia, huge in Africa.
Base totally makes sense.
Totally makes sense. 21 million.
Tron
totally makes sense. Huge in South America, also in Asia. Then we have Bitcoin.
Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, starting to get more and more adoption. Aptos.
Interesting.
Yeah, formerly from the Facebook team there. Aptos coming in at 10 million. ETH. See, that's what doesn't make sense. You're going to tell me there's more active Near addresses than ETH addresses?
Yeah, that's the Near one is the one that really doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're
even
ETH,
Aptos,
ETH, it's interesting because they separate out base, which is also obviously it's a layer 2 on Ethereum. So the ETH base layer gets chopped up because you've got Arbitrum and Optimism and Matic and Base, and all of those together probably have more than a lot of these other ones. But Near, so to me, the only thing in this list that's extremely confusing is Near, which I'd want to dig into more. Maybe there's something I'm missing on Near. Polygon, see, there's
Polygon. I mean, Poly market's getting a little more popular.
Well, I mean, so if you consider so far, there's 3 of the top 10 have been ETH.
Yeah, but ETH is number 8, and then we have ARB.
So 4 of the top 10. Yeah. So
that's ETH is number 8.
So that's what's interesting to me is, but why is Near number 2?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess they're just saying that insane monthly active user is really driving the.
I mean, yeah, that is insane.
Driving that number there,
but it's fully. That's crazy.
AI integration for user-owned agents. So we're just doing a bunch of like sub 1 penny transactions, just back and forth.
Just a bazillion agents spinning up other agents, I guess. That's it. But
Divo said they use it in Korea a lot. I'm guessing South.
Yeah, but that could be good alpha right there. That Near, when the AI market returns, Near, if they have that many people on there or that many active addresses, that's a good sign. I'm just surprised by it.
Yeah, all data is fake. Haven't we learned that?
Isn't all of life fake?
I mean, are we in a simulation?
We are. It's all a giant illusion. Nothing is real. Nothing that's outside of your mind actually exists. It's
an illusion, Michael. A trick is what.
Yeah, a whore does for money. Yeah. Great
Didn't know
line.
we'd go there. I didn't know if you had seen that series.
Yeah, I've seen it probably a few times through. It's one of the best. That's I
Arrested
would say for,
Development is what we're mentioning here.
what's that?
Arrested Development, for those who don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, that was The Office, wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought that was Dwight and Michael that say that line. That in my mind, I always hear Dwight saying that.
It does sound like something Dwight would say.
Yeah.
No. All right. Let's talk about ETH, though. Speaking of ETH, the number 8 most popular blockchain here, ETH whales are adding 14% more coins since the April lows. So just want to do the pertinent details. They're ramping up their ETH buying since the lows in April. In exactly 5 months, they've added 14% more coins. These are whale holders. These people have 1,000 to 100,000 ETH, and this is going to be $4.5 million to $440 million worth of ETH. These wallets are adding not more value, more coins to their balances, and I would say largely going to be driven by the ETH treasury companies. But a lot of those were coming from whale wallets. So, I mean, you could say some of that's going to be a wash for sure. So I would say net gain for the whale wallets, 100% is what you're seeing here. Let's see. Why would you buy XRP? 70% of the supply is in less than 10 wallets. That's part of the operations, man. You don't understand the escrow wallet would be the criticism. That would be the criticism. Any thoughts of that criticism, T? I'm not going to keep. Why do I keep trying to paint you into this bearish XRP corner?
No,
it's
I mean,
my fault that
no,
people feel that way about you.
Yeah, no, it's no problem with that criticism at all. I mean, it's a function of how they pump the price. It's the same way with SHIB. Same way with a lot of your favorite, a lot of those low cap meme coins.
I'm really setting you up with these bad faith questions. I'm like, so why do you beat your wife? Faith question. It's the bad questions there.
I did see this. I don't know if we have that news. That was pretty substantial. Hedera Hashgraph tapped as one of Wyoming's stablecoin issuer. Hot or not, it's good for Hedera. I do think Hedera has done a good job of staying relevant with stablecoin regulation, RWA type stuff. I think they've survived and they will still be relevant. They did use several other projects.
Yeah, it's the Frontier stablecoin here.
Mhm.
I was trying to find a quick post. Okay. Is that the ones that they're using? Potentially. I'm not sure. So, okay, yeah, it is. So I haven't verified this graphic or not, but yeah, they've used other this doesn't seem right. Maybe it is. But they have used other chains, essentially, is what we're getting.
Yeah,
at
we
here.
covered it when they made the announcement. It was Layer 0 they were using. Avalanche slid in there. They were launching. It was coins that they were launching their stablecoin, or networks they were launching their stablecoin on. But it looks like XLM and HBAR are going to be involved in that. I do think XLM and HBAR, when it comes to political positioning in the RWA space, have positioned themselves well. And those are the two that, again, this comes back to I think the majors will continue to perform. I think HBAR's top 30 at this. Yeah, it's top 20. So HBAR is top 20 now. So XLM and HBAR, I think highest ranking RWA projects. So those reasonable to keep an eye on. I think HBAR could perform well. Already has. So
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about World Liberty Fi dumping. World Liberty Fi kept dumping. The whales are losing millions. Shout out to Virtual Bacon. I still have my position open. It's still very low leverage. I'm not going to get liquidated by any means. And my thesis is there are 12-month vesting schedules with some of these whales. Some of these late whales got in at 25 cents. I don't think these multi-$100 million asset managers, billion-dollar asset managers are going to have a 12-month, basically it's a drip of their token. They're not going to get this token for the next 12 months and not push that price back up to at least 25 cents. My entry is like right around 25. So I'm still just holding it open for if you were wondering on the trade. We do have a member chat here. I feel like I know the answer, but I don't have enough link. I want more arrow. And if I buy more each, I will DCA it. What do you guys say? I think that is a great strategy. I think Link is going to follow. I think the next major thing to pump hard Solana, and then after Solana, I think Chainlink. TJ.
Yeah, I like both of the. That's the similar feeling that I have. I want more Chainlink. I want more Arrow. Every time I go to buy, it's always a decision on what to buy. So I would just continue to DCA into those positions, and as new money comes in, I'm the long positions I am long-term bullish on right now are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Arrow. Is a little bit riskier, but as long as base and everything's going on chain, I like Arrow. So Those are my longer term positions. I'm, still gonna most likely sell back to Bitcoin in November. I do have a long term, the max lock arrow position. I'm gonna have to decide what to do with that at some point. But yeah, and you can sell those. By the way, there's a secondary market for those, that you can buy and sell those locked positions. So you can get out of those.
So we have these Bitcoin tickers, and I was just like, this doesn't look good. 5-minute chart.
Woo!
That is ugly, folks. That is very, very ugly. What was that line? I don't even know where that line came from. Yeah, something. Oh, that was the head and shoulders breakdown. Is it following my breakdown on the head and shoulders chart here?
Looks like it.
It looks like it, and I don't like what I'm seeing here. But that potential bounce zone, and keep an eye out on this multi-month trend line. We pointed out at the beginning of the show. This dates all the way back to May. We hit it multiple times in July, late July. We're coming against it now. I wouldn't say just full port 50x long here, but if you can get some nice wicks down here and it kind of matches what the liquidation heat maps are looking like, probably going to be some pretty good positions.
Well, and you gotta love when you
leverage.
chart at the beginning of the stream, and then by the end, it's following the lines you drew by the end of the stream. I mean, it was like, hey, next one here is going to be like down to this level, and we're heading straight there.
It's heading straight there. I don't make the rules. I'm just following the lines, folks. Now back to World Liberty Fi. You know who lost a lot of money? Timu Deezy, former kickboxing champion, controversial influencer Andrew Tate was betting on the price going up. He got liquidated yesterday. 2 days ago. He got liquidated 67K and is currently the 9th most bearish token by investor sentiment. 32% of users bearish about the token's prospects there. So I will say that's actually kind of a reverse signal when you see it being super. Yeah. Everybody's betting on it going down. That's when it finds a bottom.
That's when I buy. Yeah, that's what what we did is I took a USDC full range, or not a full range, but a large ranged pool on USDC World Liberty Fi, and we entered it almost full USDC, and as the price went down, we just ended up in more and more World Liberty Fi to kind of get a blended DCA down. I do think it will find a bottom. This may be it. If we go back down to 108, maybe it will most likely keep going down, and I think it'll be very similar to the pump fund chart where it's just down only for a little while. It finds the bottom, and then I think it can slowly grind back up. But this is not a quick flip type opportunity, in my opinion. World Liberty Fi, it's going to be something that I think will be around in this space a long time. I do think we're shifting from a fly by night type industry to a long term legacy type industry now that the big boys are here, and I think this one will be around long enough to pay off.
Also, I don't think that team wants that attack vector of it, just kind of coming off as a scam.
No.
And almost on cue, scam LMAO. I think those, like I said, there's people with tokens they're not going to get for a year. And so, if it just keeps going down, they're going to be way down on their investments. And so I see some of these people are billionaires. Mm-hmm. They're going to do what it takes with market makers to pump that token. Is my thesis.
They don't take losses. Their reputation matters to them. And the part of this sentiment on this token is how I can tell most of the people, at least that are noisy, that are in crypto right now, haven't been here very long. To compare it to a meme coin, to compare it to a lot of the stuff that's happened in the last few years, it's like they have crypto Twitter has a very strong recency bias, and it does not understand like the macro trend of crypto for the most part, in my opinion. A lot of the people that came in a lot of the NFT crowd, they came in 2021 with NFTs, and they've been through one bear market, and they think they can call what's going to happen this cycle, and they're really, in my opinion, missing the forest through the trees kind of deal. So.
Well, I while you were talking, I was like, well, let me just check in on Virtual Bacon. He's kind of being known as the big World Liberty Fi bull. He's probably not anymore, but he had a 7-figure position. He started buying at 40 cents, bought all the way down to the 30-cent range, and then kept buying. I think he's still buying, TJ.
Yeah.
He said, well, they let me buy under 20 cents. So he's definitely lowering his average entry price. He's going into dark mode, his wolf mode version here. And this is what I want to share. Bids filling today. 3 minutes ago, he's buying more.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. He has conviction, and he's the opposite of the person I was talking about. He's somebody who he's looking at the underlying thesis. He has a thesis, and the short-term price action isn't bothering him.
I'm not worried about Virtual Bacon's mental health at this point. No. He's a very calm, cool, collected individual. He's been in the space for a while, and he's been talking about meme coins and altcoins. He's used to the volatility.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. He's he gets it. He's been here for a minute. It's the guy who you should be worried about is the person who's a Solana trencher and they just keep losing money over and over and over trying to get that one, meme coin ticket out of here. Those are the people that you should be checking on their mental health. Poor Gainsey right now. I got the whole timeline mad at him. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, dude, I swear I haven't touched anything. Check the screen.
Oh,
Gainsey.
Oh, there it is.
Great minds think alike.
There sometimes. It is. So the whole timeline's mad at me. Accidentally clicked the wrong button on Pump Fund.
Yeah, and so here's what happened. Sold 169,000 of his token. The price instantly dropped, leaving the holder stuck. Minutes later, a new wallet created a day ago started buying the bottom, and now has 400,000 in profit. Has no other trades, only Gainsey's token. Somehow bought the exact bottom right after the sell. People are wondering, is this a coincidence? Was he involved? When you know Gainsey dumped, but you just can't prove it.
Well, he admitted it. He knows he dumped.
He knows he dumped, but it was an accident. Yeah. It was a finger slip.
Yeah.
So did he buy back with the nuke fund? So did he buy back with that 169K? Already did. Will he use the rewards to buy more? He already is. Fix it, already on it. Daily streams, more streams, etc. Not his first rodeo. Relax.
Yeah, he's been getting lit up. He did. It's going to end up costing money. He did say he ended up paying a bunch of sold to a market maker to fix the price. So they'll get it. Whoever bought the bottom of that, congratulations. Whether it was somebody that knows him or not. So if it's his most loyal fan, I hope it is. Crazy story. He's the one that's been in the market for a long time. Generally good takes. I enjoy seeing his clips for the most part, even though he floods us with trash half the time. But
he streamed today. So
yeah,
he streamed a few hours ago, 6 hours ago. I
always respect anybody who hustles content. If you do daily streams and you get clips out there and you're on it, I'm a fan of yours, and he does a great job. I like most of his takes.
Mr. Techno Goody. Come on, man. All right, let's talk about some punks. Fresh Wallet just loaded $2 million. Swept punks. Noticeably used Coinbase Prime. And so people are saying because it's Coinbase Prime, likely this is an NFT treasury company that we keep hearing about. Haven't seen any company release the details or anything, but yeah, you can tell they swept the floor there. Maybe this one might be a little bit of a premium.
That one NFT treasury company, is that what you said?
Yeah, NFT treasury companies.
Interesting.
I would say punks is probably a fairly safe investment for crypto. There's only 10,000 of them, much more rare than, say, Bitcoin, and it's the OG grail of all NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think there's a market for people that understand IP. Ernest, if you check the link in the description, decrypted.tax is somebody we use a lot for tax stuff. Ernest, he's very involved in the Bored Ape community and in NFTs in general with IP. And I wish I could remember the name of the project. They help recover NFT projects that have been abandoned, that have no IP rights for their creators, and kind of facilitate getting that done. I do think there's definitely IP markets that exist and have existed in traditional world for a long time. I do think NFTs can fix that market. I just think we're still pretty early on that. I think DeFi sees its wins in the next 5 to 10 years. And then IP markets, I think, are coming, and things like NFTs will be relevant. But I don't know. Maybe a treasury company for NFTs can work. It's interesting.
What about a Pokemon Charizard ETF?
It's not a product I'm interested in, but I'm sure people will buy it.
Is there a way to manipulate that market? Because you want to talk about rare items, like sure, Bitcoin only 21 million, CryptoPunks only 10,000, but like PSA 9.8 Charizards, I think there's 10.0. There's like 3 or 5 or something. So.
Is there a way to manipulate that market? Yeah, there's a way to manipulate.
That's Logan Paul.
There's any market can be manipulated. It's just a matter of how much work, how much coordination, how many laws you have to break or not break. But yeah, anything can be manipulated.
God, I think about it. I used to just crack open those base set 1 Pokemon cards from Books A Million or Barnes and Noble, and just crack those things open like all day, every day. $3-4 a piece using, allowance money. And now I think those things sealed, those things are worth an insane amount of money there. Yeah, I honestly think a Charizard 9.8 ETF would do well. But let's talk about gold. Charizard's the gold of the trading card game, but gold is gold. And central bankers, they're expecting to buy more gold. Have you seen the China chart yet?
Yes, I posted it in the Discord.
Are you sitting down? Are you sitting down for this one? Woo! China prepping for something. Look at that Chinese gold accumulation. And that's not some crazy y-axis.
No. And that goes back to 20, what does that say, 2000?
Woo, buddy. Yeah, China is increasingly selling U.S. debt, buying a bunch of physical gold. This will roll over into Bitcoin's price accumulation, price appreciation.
Yeah.
And if you want validation of that, or you want some charts, you want some data, go watch this as I get really, really Italian in this video. Oh my God, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tie my hand behind my back.
No, we love it. We talk with your hands. Everybody loves that passion. But if you see, I mean, silver, we covered it yesterday too. Silver absolutely ripping at an all-time high. Gold at an all-time high. Silver at an all-time high. Bitcoin at an all-time high. It's a commodities bull market. When everything's hitting the fan, you want to be in commodities. They're giving you the most upside right now, and it's a hedge. It's a no-brainer. Put all your money in Bitcoin. Not financial advice. Actually, it is.
Charizard first edition ungraded 5K. I can't even imagine what the grades are going for. Oh, someone has it. PSA 10 went for $250,000. Okay, yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I had 2 Charizards base set. I had the entire foil base set. Lost it in my mid-20s when I lost access to a storage facility. I worked out of town a lot, and I would pay the bill every 2 months. And just my timeline was messed up. I think I skipped a payment, and so when I went in, they're like, "No, we sold your stuff a month ago."
Oh,
Like the furniture I could care less about. My binder full of every foil from the base set. That killed me, man. That was right when Storage Wars was like popular too.
yeah. Somebody made bank on that. That's probably an episode, you know. Somebody got your Pokemon
I was
card.
the sucker, man. I was the lick for sure there. All right. Speaking of a sucker, sorry. Trump's American Bitcoin. The trading was halted 5 times yesterday. So it launched and got halted 5 times, but it ended up up 16%. At one point, it was at double. And so I guess congrats, Trump sons, on a successful launch there. It's just when you see these, there's a lot of like very alarmist headlines that you're seeing out there. And a lot of people are skipping over the fact that at one point it was up like 91%, 88%, and ended up for the day there. So I think the whole team is very, very happy. Now roll it over to World Liberty Fi, says me and Virtual Bacon and Justin's son. Let's talk about Solana here. Solana chart set $1,000 price target as open interest hits an all-time high. I just wanted to share this chart pattern because I find it a little dubious. They're doing the broadening wedge, and then they're using what they assume is going to be the wedge, and then put it from the top there. I would say just pay attention to the broadening wedge proper there. So let's go to Solana. Let me put on crypto here. Solana, let's go to the daily. And they're looking at this. I think we just, I don't know about exceeding this and then just blasting it off all-time highs. But if it happens in December of this year, looking at a $455 Solana. So 450 for sure. Insane bullish breakout above that level. I'm a little bit more hesitant to say Solana's just got an easy path to 1,000, but I almost want to say it has an easy path to $400. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, chat. A lot of people in the chat saying 500. A lot of people saying 4 to 6, 5 to 6. 500 is a number I've been comfortable with for a long time. So, yeah, easy path to.
All right, they're saying do the voodoo math. I'll do the voodoo math. So it's using the March wicks into the March 2024 wicks and the May. So we go to March 2024 wicks and May. Yeah, so we can see it pretty easily here. It's just looking at this. I mean, oh God, this is very, very dubious. Let's just say it is December. Let's go full tilt like bull port here. Now, I think they had some weird thing where they like had it coming out from. Oh, they're doing the shorter one. Let's just go full bull.
$10,000.
Okay.
No.
See, I honestly didn't realize I was on a log chart. That one is on me, chat. That one's on me. Let's get a little bit more normal here.
Yeah, a lot more normal.
I mean, when you put it that way, don't threaten me with a good time. Again, this is going to be assuming we hit in December. Oh, wait. No, we got a little bit more bullish to get. December 23rd. That's going to be like right around Christmas. That'd be a Christmas Day surprise for us. And if we break out from this wedge, say it happens in December, because, the sooner it happens, the lower the target. You're still looking at a $670 Solana.
Yeah, there you go.
Still good. Still great. I would love to see us.
So 4 to 600.
Yeah, I can see it doing some weird like 666 or 690.
Oh God, don't do that. Don't do that.
Traders love those weird meme numbers, though, TJ.
They do. I mean, I could definitely see it. I just don't want it. You know.
Are you gonna like throw your Arculus in like a pentagram of fire and burn your Solana for the cause?
No, I'm definitely not doing that. And spoiler alert, Arculus is completely fireproof, so it wouldn't even burn.
There you go. There you go. Speaking of Solana has been outperforming Bitcoin, and my prediction is it's going to follow ETH's recent 200% rally. Solana surged 33% since early August. It has outperformed cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and ETH over the past few weeks. We've talked about the bridge flows. We've talked about a lot of attention heading into Solana. Also talked about the upcoming ETF applications. I am saying now, and I'm saying again, Solana is going to follow the ETH rally. Expect that pretty soon. And we just had this huge milestone. Nate Garassi is reporting this first ever tokenization of a SEC registered stock on Solana. These aren't derivatives like you see the other protocols. Aren't representations.
This is a big deal.
Yeah. This is a huge deal. This Galaxy Digital Class A common stock with all the rights that confers. Can't overemphasize how fast securities tokenization is progressing. This is huge. This is very, very huge.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a big win for Solana. Obviously, Ethereum had been getting a lot of these tokenized security type transactions and dealings recently. If Solana can continue, obviously, Galaxy Digital, major investor in Solana, they're incentivized to do this on Solana. But the fact that they got it done is huge. It shows proof, and this is a really big deal. So if they can continue to tokenize securities on Ethereum and Solana, or on Solana without Ethereum, extremely bullish for our entire space, but obviously extremely bullish for Solana. So
and I would say is probably why you saw Ondo being like the #2 loser today.
Could be, yeah.
I think a little bit of relationship there. Let's talk about Cardano real quick. Cardano, retail traders bearish, but the whales smelling a pattern. Crypto King pointed out a bullish pattern. I just want to share this real quick. His analysis said they're trading in an ascending channel pattern with the price hitting some resistance. If you look right there, you can see what he's talking about. This is Crypto's King. And there's a couple things here. So we do have that parallel channel. Excuse my eyesight, man. I am so blind. I can't find it. I have too many things here, TJ. So now I feel bad. I'm just going to redraw it real quick. All right. So yeah, coming up, still got a ways to go. That resistance is going to be above $1. That's going to look pretty good. I would say this symmetrical triangle, though. We were just talking about these triangles. This is also gives us a pretty good target. Maybe I had it right there. That would give us just a nice little breakout right to where the previous points of resistance are. So I would pay attention to this. Tonight, I'm dropping a Cardano video. Tonight, I'm going to tell you why we could potentially end up here, TJ.
Nice.
Yes. So if you hold Cardano, you want to be bullish, you want some hopium, watch tonight's video. You'll see what I'm talking about up here. This might be the bull case target, but let me just say my other target, it's in this range. So I'm not coming in like, oh, probably $3, but maybe 10. I'm coming in bullish, I'm coming in hot, and I'm coming in heavy. So watch tonight's video if you hold Cardano. Now, this is just a friendly reminder. If staked ADA were counted as total value locked on things like DeFi Llama, Cardano would be #2 in the world. The latest numbers have 21 billion. ADA is currently staked. Liquid staking, truly liquid, no derivatives, no lockup, no third party. No, it's just very, very good system. It's $18 billion. It'd have a higher DeFi TVL than Solana, Tron, BSC, and every other chain except for Ethereum, if you counted Cardano's liquid staking. So if you don't understand that, again, watch tonight's video. Got a lot of alpha on that one. And just a quick reminder, have you staked to the DZ pool? If you have your Cardano wallet, I'll probably put a little descriptor, a small tutorial video up on X there. And we talked about the job claims as well. So big news for Cardano. If you're holding ADA, you have to have on those notifications, folks. Smash that like button, turn on those notifications, make sure that you see it pop up in your feed. TJ, what are your thoughts of $10 Cardano this cycle?
It sounds good to me. I think it's possible. I think if we see what is been building and building, I think we could see an absolutely insane alt season, and $10 Cardano would make me very happy. I'll say that much.
People saying the market is getting cooked. Let's go to the 5-minute chart.
Yeah, it's going down.
Did another leg down. Another leg down since we just looked at it. So we saw that leg down, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes ago, Bitcoin just starting to dump, folks. Now we still have that target, though. We still have that head and shoulders target, something to pay attention to. All right, well, no, $10 ADA is not a $600 XRP.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
A lot different there. All right,
Like
well,
a
folks,
$10 XRP.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a $10 XRP, which, hey, I put 10, 20, I put 10-ish, 20-ish% chance it could happen. 10-ish, 5-ish, I don't know. Odds that XRP could hit 10. Would you put it around 10%? Yeah.
It depends on the time frame. That's what's always so hard. It does have a set supply, so given
I think a long enough time frame, maybe
given a long enough time frame, it should hit it. I'd give it a greater than 50%. But now, what will Bitcoin be in that same time frame is what you should be asking yourself.
That's the big question.
That's the question to ponder for later today. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hit the like button on the way out. We love you all. Bye, Narculus. We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.